Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, every image you visualize creates a reality that shapes your actions and your future. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to live a life filled with purpose, you must first rewire your brain for mental strength. Strength doesn't begin in your body, it begins in your thoughts. It begins in the way you interpret challenges, the way you respond to setbacks, and the way you view yourself in moments of doubt. Most people fail not because they don't have the ability, but because they haven't trained their mind to stand strong when life gets difficult. Your brain has been wired by years of habits, influences, and past experiences. But the good news is it can be rewired. You can choose what you focus on, what you feed your mind, and what thoughts you allow to dominate your reality. Mental strength is not about avoiding pain, it's about facing it with courage. It's not about escaping problems, it's about embracing them as opportunities to grow. Every obstacle you encounter is a test, not of your body, but of your mind. Will you see it as the end, or will you see it as a new beginning? That choice determines whether you rise or remain stuck. The first step to rewiring your brain is awareness. You must recognize the negative patterns that keep you trapped. Are you constantly telling yourself you're not good enough? Do you focus more on failure than on possibility? Those thoughts are programming your brain to stay weak. Replace them with empowering thoughts. Tell yourself you are capable. Tell yourself you are strong. Tell yourself that no matter what comes, you will endure and you will grow. The second step is consistency. You cannot think positively once and expect transformation. Just like building muscles requires daily training, building mental strength requires daily repetition. Speak affirmations into your life. Visualize your goals every day. Surround yourself with voices that inspire you instead of voices that drain you. Over time, your brain adapts, your thoughts shift, and your reality changes. The third step is resilience. Life will test you. You will face disappointment, rejection, and failure. But instead of asking, why me? Start asking, what can I learn? Resilient people don't run from problems. They grow through them. They know that setbacks are setups for comebacks. Your brain learns resilience every time you get back up after being knocked down. The fourth step is discipline. Mental strength is not built on emotion, it's built on commitment. You may not always feel motivated, but discipline will carry you when motivation disappears. Train your mind to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. That's how winners are made, not by waiting for inspiration, but by building consistency through discipline. The fifth step is gratitude. Gratitude rewires the brain to focus on what's good instead of what's missing. When you start seeing your blessings instead of your problems, your brain creates a pattern of strength. Gratitude shifts your perspective, and perspective is the foundation of mental toughness. And finally, the sixth step is vision. Your brain will follow the pictures you place in front of it. If you constantly see failure, you'll create failure. But if you see yourself as strong, successful, and unstoppable, your mind will align with that vision and lead your actions toward it. Mental strength is not about being unshakable. It's about being unbreakable. It's about refusing to let circumstances control your destiny. It's about rewiring your brain to see challenges as opportunities, pain as fuel, and obstacles as stepping stones. The battle is in your mind, and when you win, and there you win everywhere. Awareness is the first and most critical step in rewiring your brain for mental strength. You cannot change what you are not aware of. Too many people live on autopilot, repeating the same negative thoughts day after day, not realizing those thoughts are shaping their actions and outcomes. If you want to transform your life, you must begin by observing the internal dialogue that runs through your mind. The truth is, most people don't even realize how negative they are because their self-talk has become a habit. They speak defeat to themselves unconsciously and then wonder why life feels so heavy. Awareness requires you to pause and examine what you are thinking when you face challenges. For example, when you fail at something, do you immediately think, I'm not good enough? Or when an opportunity comes, do you say, I don't think I can handle that? Those statements are not just words, they are signals to your brain. Every time you repeat them, your brain wires itself deeper into limitation. The more you think in a certain way, the stronger that pathway becomes, and soon your thoughts turn into a pattern of weakness. That is why awareness is powerful, because once you become conscious of those patterns, you can break them. Start paying attention to your words, because words are the mirror of your thoughts. Every time you say, I can't, stop yourself and ask, is that really true, or is it just a thought I've been repeating? Most of the time, it's not truth, it's programming. That programming may have come from your upbringing, from people around you, or from past experiences. But just because you were programmed doesn't mean you cannot be reprogrammed. Awareness gives you the power to interrupt the old pattern and install a new one. One of the most effective ways to build awareness is through journaling. When you write down your thoughts, you see them clearly. You can notice patterns you didn't recognize before. You may realize that you focus more on problems than solutions, or that you constantly talk yourself out of opportunities. Once you see it, you can change it. Without awareness, you remain stuck in the same cycles, blaming circumstances, when in reality, it is your thoughts holding you back. Another tool for awareness is mindfulness. Take a few minutes each day to sit quietly and notice your thoughts. Don't judge them, just observe them. When you notice yourself spiraling into negativity, pause and breathe. That pause creates space between the thought and your reaction. That space is where transformation begins, because once you catch the thought, you can choose a different response. You can replace I can't with I can learn. You can replace I'm a failure with I'm growing. That simple shift begins rewiring your brain towards strength. Awareness is also about recognizing your triggers. What situations or people tend to drain your energy or make you feel weak? Pay attention to how your environment influences your thoughts. If you're constantly around negativity, your brain absorbs it like a sponge. That's why awareness isn't just about internal thoughts, but also about external influences. You must choose what you allow into your mind, because your brain will reflect whatever you feed it. The greatest truth about awareness is that it puts the power back in your hands. When you're unaware, you feel like a victim of life. But when you become aware, you realize you are not your thoughts. You are the one observing them. And if you can observe them, you can change them. That realization alone is empowering, because it proves that you are not stuck. You have the ability to stop feeding weakness and start feeding strength. Consistency is the bridge between intention and transformation. It is not what you do once in a while that rewires your brain. It is what you do every single day. Most people are not weak because they lack potential. They are weak because they are inconsistent. They start strong when they feel motivated, but when the excitement fades, they stop. True mental strength is built by showing up even when you don't feel like it, by committing to the process long after the initial spark has burned out. Your brain is like a muscle, and just like your body doesn't get stronger from one workout, your mind doesn't grow strong from one positive thought. If you want lasting transformation, you need daily mental training. That means speaking affirmations into your life, visualizing your goals every morning, journaling your progress, and catching your negative thoughts every time they appear. Each of those practices may seem small on its own, but when repeated consistently, they rewire your brain into a fortress of strength. Think of consistency as the soil in which new habits grow. Without consistent effort, the seeds of mental strength never take root. You can plant the seed of resilience by saying, I can overcome challenges. But if you water that seed once a month, it will die. When you water it every day with consistent action, it grows into unshakable belief. That's why winners are not defined by bursts of effort. They are defined by steady habits that become part of who they are. Consistency also trains your subconscious mind. The subconscious doesn't respond to occasional thoughts. It responds to repeated ones. If you consistently feed your mind empowering beliefs, your subconscious accepts them as truth. Soon you won't have to force yourself to think positively. It will become automatic. Just like brushing your teeth, rewiring your brain becomes part of your daily rhythm. That's when transformation becomes permanent. But consistency is not just about what you do, it's about what you don't allow. If you consistently feed yourself negativity through the news, toxic relationships, or self-doubt, that too will wire your brain. You cannot expect strength if you are consistently consuming weakness. Awareness plus consistency is the formula for rewiring your brain, because awareness shows you what needs to change and consistency ensures it does change. The challenge with consistency is boredom. The brain loves novelty, but transformation requires repetition. That's why many people quit. They want excitement, not discipline. But mental strength is not glamorous. It's built in the small, repeated choices no one sees. Choosing to get up early, choosing to meditate when you'd rather scroll, choosing to speak words of life when negativity feels easier. Consistency is not flashy, but it is powerful. If you want to transform, commit to consistency above all. Don't judge your progress by how much changes in a week. Judge it by whether you kept showing up. Because when you keep showing up, you create momentum. And once momentum builds, it becomes easier to continue than to quit. Your brain starts craving the habits that make you strong, and that's when your life begins to shift dramatically. Consistency is proof of belief. If you truly believe you can rewire your brain, you will act on it daily. Every affirmation you repeat, every visualization you do, every positive thought you replace builds a brick in the structure of your mental strength. Eventually, that structure becomes so solid that no storm can shake it. Consistency is not just a practice, it is the very foundation of mental mastery. Resilience is the ability to face adversity, bend without breaking, and come back stronger after every setback. It is the heartbeat of mental strength. Without resilience, every challenge feels like defeat, every failure feels like finality, and every obstacle feels like the end of the road. But with resilience, those same experiences become fuel. They become the training ground where your brain learns to endure, adapt, and overcome. The truth is, you cannot rewire your brain for strength without experiencing resistance. Just as muscles grow by being tested through weight and pressure, your mind grows by facing problems and setbacks. Every time life knocks you down and you get back up, you are building mental resilience. Your brain learns that struggle does not equal defeat, it equals development. The problem is that most people avoid struggle. They want life to be easy, and the moment it becomes hard, they give up. But what they fail to understand is that difficulty is not an enemy, it is an opportunity. Every challenge you face carries a lesson, and every setback contains a seed of growth. Resilience is about training your brain to look for that lesson instead of wallowing in frustration. When failure happens, resilience asks, what can I learn from this? When rejection comes, resilience asks, what's the next opportunity? When disappointment strikes, resilience asks, how can I rise from this stronger than before? The questions you ask during hard times determine whether your brain grows or stays stuck. Resilience is not denial. It doesn't mean pretending pain doesn't exist. It means acknowledging the pain but refusing to let it define you. It means looking at your scars not as signs of weakness but as evidence of survival. Every scar is proof that you endured what was meant to break you. That perspective rewires your brain to see challenges not as setbacks but as stepping stones. Building resilience also means shifting how you interpret pressure. Pressure doesn't exist to crush you, it exists to shape you. Diamonds are created under pressure. Muscles are strengthened under resistance. And greatness is born in the fire of adversity. If you run from challenges, you rob yourself of growth. If you embrace them, you turn weakness into strength. Your brain learns resilience through repetition. Each time you face a problem and choose to endure instead of quitting, you carve a new mental pathway. That pathway tells your brain, I am stronger than this. I can handle more than I thought. Over time, resilience becomes automatic. You stop fearing problems and instead you welcome them as opportunities to sharpen your strength. The essence of resilience is belief, the belief that no matter how many times you fall, you will rise again. It is the refusal to give finality to failure. Resilient people don't deny their difficulties, but they refuse to let difficulties deny them their destiny. That mindset doesn't just help you survive, it helps you thrive. Resilience is proof that strength is not measured by how hard you hit, but by how many times you rise after being hit. And when you train your brain to rise every time, you build an unshakable mind that no circumstance can defeat. Discipline is the muscle that carries you when motivation disappears. It is the ability to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. Mental strength is not about waiting until you feel ready. It is about creating readiness through discipline. The truth is, if you only act when you feel motivated, you will never achieve greatness because feelings are fleeting. Discipline is what keeps you on course when your emotions try to pull you away. Your brain craves comfort. It seeks the path of least resistance. That's why you must train it through discipline to choose what serves your future instead of what pleases your moment. When you discipline your mind, you are teaching it that your destiny is more important than your feelings. You may not feel like waking up early, but your goals require it. You may not feel like practicing consistency, but your growth demands it. You may not feel like pushing through discomfort, but your purpose calls you to. Discipline rewires your brain because it overrides the urge for instant gratification. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen the pathway of self-control. You teach your brain that it does not have to obey every impulse, that it can rise above emotion and choose action. Over time, this becomes a pattern, and your brain begins to crave discipline more than indulgence. Emotion is temporary, but discipline builds permanence. When you act on discipline, you create momentum, and momentum is what creates transformation. Motivation may get you started, but discipline ensures you finish. It's the difference between dreamers and doers. Dreamers wait for inspiration, while doers create results by showing up every day, whether they feel like it or not. The greatest misconception about discipline is that it's punishment. Discipline is not restriction, it is liberation. It frees you from being controlled by fleeting emotions. It frees you from the trap of procrastination. It frees you from the regret of wasted time. Discipline is the master key that unlocks the highest version of yourself because it ensures that no matter how you feel, your actions align with your vision. One of the strongest disciplines you can develop is the discipline of thought. Negative thoughts will appear, but discipline refuses to dwell on them. Discipline replaces them with empowering truths. Discipline chooses focus over distraction, gratitude over complaint, and progress over perfection. When you discipline your mind, you become unstoppable because while others are waiting to feel ready, you are already moving forward. While others are controlled by their moods, you are controlled by your mission. And that is the mark of true mental strength, choosing purpose over comfort, discipline over emotion, destiny over distraction. Mental strength is not built in a single moment. It is forged in the daily battles you fight within your mind. It is the sum of awareness, consistency, resilience, discipline, gratitude, and vision. Each principle is like a brick, and together they build a fortress that no storm can destroy. Your brain is being wired every day, either toward weakness or toward strength, and the choice is yours. When you choose awareness, you shine a light on the lies that hold you back. When you choose consistency, you build momentum that transforms intentions into reality. When you embrace resilience, you rise after every fall, stronger and wiser. When you practice discipline, you no longer wait for feelings to lead you. You lead yourself through action. And when you add gratitude and vision to the foundation, your life becomes unstoppable because your mind is no longer controlled by fear, negativity, or doubt. Understand this. Your brain is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally when trained, but your worst enemy when left undisciplined. If you don't master your mind will master you. But once you rewire it for strength, there is nothing in life that can stop you. You will face storms and not break. You will encounter setbacks and rise. You will move forward with clarity and power because your mind will be your strongest weapon. The battle for your future is happening in your thoughts. And when you win there, you win everywhere.